Hi, this is Jason Major with Sweaty Hero Comic Bargains, and today we're going to talk about Marvel and DC comic books from the late '70s and early '80s. And these are all stuff that I found in the dollar bins at the local comic shop, in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. So if you go to your dollar bins, you will find some cool stuff, especially if you're just looking for things to fill your runs or things just to read because you've never read them before. Some cool stuff. Look at this awesome cover. I mean, that's Captain America and Daredevil. And Daredevil is flying like a plane. I can't wait to read this. Who drew this? Sal Buscema. Awesome. Even better. I can't wait. This is going to be fun. Look at that cover. That's great. So that's from the '70s. And then we have another one from the early '80s. The new Nomad is in town. And you have the Constrictor. And let's see who drew this one. It is Mike Zeck and J.M. DeMatteis on script. J.M. DeMatteis is responsible for Craven's Last Hunt. And this looks like a lot of fun. Again, poor condition, but looks like a great read. Nova, which is a character some people don't know really about, and he joined the New Warriors in the '90s. He had a book in the '70s, and this is his book, and it was a 30-cent book, originally. And this one is against the Finks. This character actually fought the New Warriors in an annual event tied with Amazing Spider-Man, so that was kind of cool. That would be kind of cool. The Beast from the X-Men, with the blue one, the Hank McCoy one, joined the Avengers, and Wonder Man is in this issue. This is Avengers 203 from 1980. Again, poor condition, but perfect for someone who just wants to read the book, read the characters. And David Michelinie, who is my favorite Spider-Man writer, along with J.M. DeMatteis, they're both close. But David Michelinie did Spider-Man when I started reading it with Amazing Spider-Man 298, 300, around that area. And Carmine Infantino, classic artist on Avengers, and great artwork. Cool. Not cool. And then we have another Avengers, this one by Roger Stern with Al Rob doing the artwork. So that's cool. And you can see that by this point, She-Hulk is on the team. The quarterback showing different characters that were on the team at the time. The Defenders with a team of Angel, Valkyrie, Beast. I don't actually know who that character's name is. Gargoyle, I think. Doctor Strange, Namor, Hulk, those are also have been on that team. DeMatteis, again, writing the book. This is actually based on a Classic Illustrated type story, but they didn't call it Classic Illustrated, they called it Marvel Classic Comics. This is called Moonstone, and this is from the '70s. You can see that there's a really bad shipping here, so technically probably worth less than $1, especially since it's such a obscure characters and titles. But I just thought it was a neat find. And Don McGregor script. So the artist Dino Castrillo I've not heard of before, but it looks like a cool story based on a classic story that I might have heard of before, and it could be a lot of fun to read. Here's a fun burger time too, with the old arcade games. But then we have Fantastic Four with Doug Moench, Bill Sienkiewicz, and Joe Sinnott doing the artwork. But look at this artwork. Bill usually is known for a lot of very inky stuff, so I'm kind of surprised to see the artwork look like that. Very different than what I'm used to. And just need a drink of water here. Justice League, Gary Conway doing the writing. And this is an issue from the 1979 with Green Arrow and Green Lantern on the book. And so that's cool. One of the more fun, silly covers for Superman in the '70s. People forget when Marvel was doing the Silver Age Spider-Man titles, and they were kind of more. they were not as campy as the Superman titles. Superman was still pretty campy in the 60s and even in the 70s. This one, Perry White's Kid Superpowers. I've read this issue before. It was a lot of fun, though. And so you got Ellie S. Magan, editor Julie Swartz, and editor Julie Swartz, and art by Kurt Swan. Kurt Swan being one of the best Superman Silver Age artists, in my opinion. It is a fun book, but be warned, it is Silver Age Superman, so it is on the sillier side. Speaking of sillier side, we got another Superman family that's... No, I'm sorry, this is a Superman 100-page book, which has a bunch of different stories in it, and I believe these are reprints. But they all are like the Whale with Superman losing face, Superman fighting a cowboy. What the heck's a cowboy going to do against him? All kinds of stories in this book. But it's 100 pages, and I was able to get it for $1 because it's in the bargain bin, because it's in this reading condition. It's important, I think, that if you're looking for comic books, look for some in reading condition. Just enjoy reading comics again. This looks like a Justice League that's on its last legs. I'm not sure if I'm going to have to put it in the dollar bin or not. I might not be able to rule that day. But this is Two-Face joining the Justice League. That's kind of cool. But it is in very poor condition. The cover is falling apart. So I'll have to do something about that. And then we have a comic book based on the Super Friends cartoon, which is kind of fun. Then we have an issue of DC Comics Presents, which has Superman with Captain Comet. And then from the future, this is from 1976, we have a story that takes place in Superman 2001. And I'm reading this in 2025, by the way. Let's see what we have here. You have the new Empire State Building has reclaimed it all, stabbing a full mile by the sky. You have, basically, it doesn't go too futuristic for 2001 as you might think, but definitely it is interesting to see what they thought of 2001 in 1970s. So these are my sort of late Bronze Age DC and Marvel comics that you can find in a dollar bin. Take care. Bye. We are having some technical problems here. I considered it a crisis on Infinity Earths.